Good morning and welcome to Children's Chapel at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church in the Green Lake neighborhood of Seattle. I'm so glad you were able to be with us this morning. My name is Reverend Rebecca Kirkpatrick, and we are here this morning talking about Moses. There have been many Moseses that have lived over the centuries. I even know someone named Moses today. But the original and the most famous came from Egypt. And he was known as the prophet of the Jews, the Christians, the Baha'is, and the Muslims. And he didn't start out that way. He was born in Egypt to a mom named Jochebed. And Jochebed loved Moses so much. So when the Egyptian Pharaoh decided that the Hebrews, one of which Moses and his mom were getting too big of a population in Egypt and too scary, and he thought that they might try to win over other people to help them throw the Egyptian government, Jochebed saw that she needed to keep her son safe. So she put her son in a basket made of reeds and floated him down the Nile River to be adopted. She would have no idea what she did, that courage, what an act of courage she had to let her son be adopted and to put him into a safer place, even if it meant putting him in the river. Moses, as we know, as we will hear more of in later stories, led his people out of exile. They became slaves in Egypt, and he led them to freedom through the Red Sea, across the Red Sea. He is known as a prophet, lawyer, and a religious leader because he helped free his people. And today I want to tell you another story about a Moses who lived to free her people. Specifically, this woman was named Harriet Truman. Well, a name she gave herself. Her first name was really Minty. But Harriet grew up and she led what is now known as the Underground Railroad. And she led slaves in the South to the North to freedom. So one of her nicknames that was given to her was Moses, because she also freed her people. So I want to tell you her story. Before She Was Harriet, a book written by Lessa Klein Ransom and illustrated by James E. Ransom. Here she sits, an old woman, tired and worn, her legs stiff, her back achy. But before her wrinkles formed and her eyes failed, before she reached her twilight years, she could walk for miles and see clearly under a sky lit only by stars. Before she was an old woman, she was a suffragist, a voice for women who had none in marriages and court and voting booths before her voice became soft and raspy. It was loud and angry, rising above injustice. Before she was a suffragist, she was General Tubman, rising out of the fog armed with courage, strong in the face of rebels and planters and overseers, as they watched fields burn and bridges fall and about 700 slaves stop chopping and start running to a woman who ferried them to freedom on the Combahee River, turned River Jordan. Before she was General Tubman, she was a Union spy carrying secrets across battlefields to soldiers fighting in the Civil War for President Lincoln to end slavery. Before she was a Union spy, she was a nurse caring for those hit with bullets and hatred and fear, tending to them with bandages and words in the bloody dirt of Southern soil. Before she was a nurse, she was Aunt Harriet, daughter of Ben and Rit, who helped her parents flee their master and find their way through the woods and streams to the safety of Canada and a new home in the north. Before she was Aunt Harriet, she was Moses, a conductor on an underground railroad with no trains and no tracks, just passengers traveling to freedom, up north through swamps, past slave catchers across rivers, under the cover of night. seeking the promised land for her people, led by dreams and God and faith, a wisp of a woman with the courage of a lion. Before she was Moses, she was Minty of Maryland, of one slave owner and then another who worked her, punished her with lashes, broke her back, but not her spirit. Before she was Minty, she was Araminta, a young girl taught by her father to read the woods and the stars at night, readying her for the day. She'd leave behind slavery along with her name and pick a new one, Harriet, and remember her days as a suffragist, as a general, as a spy, as a nurse, as Aunt Harriet, as Moses, as a conductor, as Minty, as Araminta, who dreamed of living long enough to one day be old, stiff, and achy, tired and worn and wrinkled and free. The end. Wow, what a powerful story Moses or Harriet Tubman lived, freeing all of those slaves down the river and helping them to cross in the night, helping them to know where to go. A lot like Moses in the Bible, in the Old Testament, in Exodus. We hear about Moses in the Bible freeing his people out of slavery and out of bondage. Harriet and Moses have a lot in common. They both believe in justice. They both believed in freeing their people out of slavery. They both believed and acted in the best ways possible in life. Both are prophets and both are navigators, leading people to better lives. May each of us learn from the stories of Moses in the Bible and Moses Tubman, knowing that helping people to find more safety and more love, helping to free people, is what we're called to do. That's where Jesus calls us. So may we all act in love and in courage and in faith as we learn from both the Moses in the Bible and Moses in the Civil War. I hope each of you has a great week, and let's keep learning and let's keep being people of social justice and keep being the best people we can and being led in the spirit of Moses. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.